The second part of what I feel makes songwriters extremely, extremely unique and just unbelievable individuals. First, you got the creative side of things, which is just putting the song together, and then there's an extension of that, which I call in the studio. And there's just a massive difference between sitting in a room writing a song and then taking it to the studio and making it into magic, right? So I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to chat with you about your role in the studio. How vocal are you? How hands-on are you? And talk a little bit about the impact of Davis Naish as well.
Exceptionally hands-on, exceptionally vocal, but also exceptionally welcoming to other ideas, right? Um, 40 years ago, making a record meant spending a lot of money on tape. Now, in the digital world, making a record is just time. And if somebody has an idea and it might not make sense to you in your brain, but they're passionate about it, say yes. Because maybe they're going to play something that will blow your mind and it will completely change how your song is perceived when the record comes out going forward. But if their crazy idea turns out to be crazy, you just have to hit the delete button.
That's right.
It didn't cost us any extra tape. It didn't, like, all right, cool. I appreciate that you brought that idea to this session, but I don't think it works for the song. Let's move on. Davis Naish is so gifted in ways that I will never be gifted. Music courses through his veins in a way that I could study but never emulate naturally. He is naturally gifted. And the blessing that it is to have someone who is that gifted dedicate so much time in their lives to making your songs that much better when they come out on a record is one of the more selfless acts that I think human beings give to other human beings. Record producers, for all of their, personas or egos or whatever, if you boil it down to their essence, they exist to try and prop other people up.
Yeah, they're
To
servers, man. They're
They are.
servers. Yeah.
I have this talent, and this talent exists to make you better.
Mm-hmm.
And Davis is just an incredibly classic example of someone who has a boatload of talent that he is just looking to give to someone else that seems like they might excite his creativity. And so our relationship as friends has never been better. Our relationship professionally as songwriter and producer has never been better. And at this point, we've worked so much together. If he says, man, I got this crazy idea. In fact, this whole record was his idea.
Mm-hmm.
He said, have you ever made a self-titled record? And I was like, no, that's dumb. He said, you ever put out a record with your face on the cover? And I was like, why? There's so much space for great art. Why would I put my face on the cover? Have you ever put out a record of all songs that you wrote by yourself? No, why would I do that? I get to write with the greatest songwriters in the world. That all of this sounds stupid. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I kind of would like to be the producer that takes a snapshot of the songwriter 25 years in. And you think,
golly, man.
I can't say no to that.
Yeah.
And somebody that talented wanting to do that for you, I don't know that I'll ever be able to repay him for his kindness, his friendship, or his talent. But he pushes me to be a better songwriter every day. He pushes me to be a better musician. Like, there were times making this record where he'd say, well, what if you played this? And I'd say, well, I don't think I can play that. Said, well, you should try a couple times because I think you probably can. And so he pushes you into a different space that otherwise, without his belief, you would have said, well, no, I can't do that. But if this guy who is this talented and this supportive thinks I can do it, well, then maybe I should step up to the plate and do it. And without Davis Naish, this record does not exist, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for it.
That's why I wanted to chat about him and give him his flowers, because I know this entire project was so different than anything you've done before, and
yes.
I knew it came from his brain. And